Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. In this lesson, we'll look at how to read English words correctly. We'll talk about sight reading versus decoding, what those words mean, and I'll give you some examples to teach you about patterns to look for and how to approach reading and pronunciation to make sense of English, which sometimes doesn't feel like it makes sense. So, sight reading is basically means looking at a word, and by sight, just looking at it and knowing what the word is. Being able to look at a word like was and just read it without thinking about the sounds of it, just memorizing that those three letters are the word was. And there are a number of common words that the most efficient way to learn to read them is to memorize them. So you can find online many common sight word reading lists. If you're helping a child with that in their school, they're going to have sight word memorization lists. And it is an important part of reading because we don't, as we learn to read, we don't always have time to decode and look at the sound of every letter. So we'll talk about decoding in a moment. It's very important, in my opinion, to have skills in both of these areas. Sight reading is about quickness of reading, and it also helps to compensate for places where our spelling rules don't apply. So we do have rules and patterns for spelling in English, and you can check out my video on American English spelling in general, to help you with some of those spelling rules. But when we're talking about sight reading, many times the words that you have to memorize or that it's best to memorize and to sight read don't always follow those rules and patterns. Sometimes they do. Little words like yes, or little words like is. Some rules, some work both ways, either sight reading or decoding. So typically in sight reading, you're looking at the most frequently used words in English. Words like the, on, is, was, does, etc. And learning them, being able to recognize the word and know immediately what it is. When you're looking at it from the angle of pronunciation, when it comes to sight reading, it can be helpful to apply the rules of spelling and respell some of these words. What I mean by that is when we're looking at decoding, we look at the letter and we figure out what sound it says. So if I'm decoding, I'm sounding out a word or breaking it down by the sounds. So for example, looking at these two words, was and buzz, in the word was, we have three sounds. We have the w, the and the z sounds. And in the word buzz, also b, and z. So the second two sounds in both of these words are the same. And for was, if I start breaking it down, for the w sound, it makes sense. But when I get to the a, it's hard to know what to say. A, most typically in American English, will say a, like in cat. But it doesn't say that here in was. It doesn't say was. It also doesn't say was or was. So the most typical sounds for letter A don't apply. So I can't really just decode this word. So what I need to do is memorize that it sounds like was. When it comes to buzz, when I break it down, b, z, it makes the most sense. Yes, there are two Z's here, but that doesn't really interfere with my ability to decode and sound out the word buzz. It really matches sound to sound. So the letter B says b, the letter U says and the letters Z say z, buzz. It makes sense. So if you're struggling or you're wanting to solidify your pronunciation of the word was, you could think about it as was or was if you're familiar with buzz. You can rewrite it or respell it, visualize it in your mind for pronunciation as was. That's because our schwa sound, our sound, is most commonly spelled with letter U. Our Z sound is actually very commonly spelled with S, but in order to make sure that you're not saying was with an S sound, you might want to write it with a Z here or picture it with a Z in your mind to get that correct pronunciation. So you can see how if I'm trying to read this word for the first time, this one I can decode. I can sound it out. It's going to give me the right sounds. This one I need to memorize. I need to visualize to recognize that the sounds are w, and z. That's not going to happen naturally. When native speakers of English and little kids are first learning to spell, they've heard the word was many times, and in their mind, if they know that the sounds of was are w, and z, they might write it like was when they're first learning to write and spell, because they're doing the reverse. They're decoding in reverse. They're saying was is z, and they write it that way. They have to learn then to change that and to spell it this way, just like they need to learn to read, sight read, and memorize that this word was is pronounced, that this is how you say the word was. So as a non-native speaker of English, both using decoding and sight reading are helpful. Sight reading is you probably already read all of these words correctly. You can say this and you know it's was, but you might be pronouncing it. You might be influenced by how it's spelled. You might pronounce it more like was or was, something where that letter A is going to negatively affect your pronunciation. It might be news to you that was and buzz rhyme, that they have the same sounds in them. Another great example here would be the word does. That spelling doesn't make sense at all, right? It's like the word doe, O-E usually would say O, but it has the same sounds, the same last two sounds as was and buzz. So memorizing this, visualizing does, was, and grouping them with sound like buzz where decoding works can be really helpful in pronunciation. When you work on the vowel sounds of English, if you check out my videos for vowel schwa, for example, you'll see the common words that have the sound, and you'll see that I always will rewrite in my pronunciation videos. I'll give you the symbols for the actual sounds, but I'll also rewrite and respell the sounds following our spelling patterns, our spelling conventions, so you have something to visualize when you're trying to break down and pronounce and read a word correctly. Let's look at another example. So when we're talking about the words is and yes, is has two letters, two sounds, but again, here's our letter S saying the Z sound. So if we had consistent rules of how we were to spell the Z sound, we would write it as is. So this one typically is a sight word. You just memorize, you know that it sounds like is it, is a. And in your mind, if you're struggling with the S and Z sounds and it comes out a little more like is in some cases, then visualizing it with Z can help. Whereas in yes, letter S does say S, so I can go sound by sound. Y, s. It follows the spelling patterns, it follows the rules. I can decode this word yes by looking at each letter, and I'll know what the sounds are. Y, and s. Yes makes yes. So this might also be because it's a common everyday word, a word that you just memorize when you're reading, you just know what it sounds like, but you can break it down and it'll follow the rules. The letters will give you clues to pronouncing it correctly. So whereas with is and was, not so much, more sight reading words. And then here's another example of these two words, sun and sun, have the exact same sounds. They both have s, and n. So the sounds in these two words are the same, but the spelling and the meaning are different. This one, if I try to break it down, s, n, following the typical patterns and spelling of English, I'm going to get the correct sound. This one, s, o, or s, ah, or s, ah, doesn't really match. Yes, letter O does say in words like sun, some, come, does, etc. But it might be helpful for me to think of this one as this. Probably most of you are reading these words correctly and are pronouncing these words correctly, but seeing them lined up and recognizing that in your mind you might have thought this needs to say something different than this because the letter O is there and it's influencing how you think you need to read or pronounce that word. So, trying to have in your mind some of these exceptions to the spelling rules and again, looking at which words you need to memorize, which words that sight reading works better for and which words that decoding works better for. Let's look at another example. And I like to look at this from the lens of pronunciation because, of course, often I'm looking at people's pronunciation errors. So if we're looking at, for example, the word say and the word says, this is a common challenge or a common mispronunciation where you can decode say, right? If I go letter by letter, I have the s, and then AY will say the A diphthong, say. So that's a typical spelling for that diphthong. We spell it with AI or AY. I can decode this say and know what it says. I do need to know that AY says A, one sound or one diphthong, rather than A and ya. But that's pretty basic spelling and reading and decoding. But when I come over here to says, all of a sudden it doesn't follow the rules anymore. I have my A, which most of the time, 95% of the time, is going to say the A sound. But in the word says, suddenly the vowel changes to the eh sound, like in red tent. And so many people mispronounce this as sace because it would make sense and follow the rules to go from say to sace or says. Letter S says the Z in here, just like it did with is and was. And so I may want to, in my mind, respell this or visualize it as says. Same thing, a small child learning to write who can say and pronounce says correctly might initially spell it this way because they're sounding out s, z. That's what they're hearing. That's what they're saying. They have to be taught and memorize that actually that one breaks the rules for spelling, and it is spelled with an AY and an S instead of an E and a Z for says. So looking at common words, what vowel sounds they have, what consonant sounds they have, and where I can decode and where I need to memorize either how to read a word or how to pronounce a word, where I might want to visualize based on the sounds. That's something that is really helpful to go through basic everyday words, and you can find those common words here on the channel, breaking down the sounds of them. I also highly recommend our Sounds of English course because it teaches you all of the sounds of English, the symbols, how they're typically spelled, and then exceptions in common words, so that you can start to build a strong foundation for both decoding and sight reading and understanding correct pronunciation and correct reading skills in English. Thanks so much for being a part of this lesson today. If you have questions about this topic or any topic for American English pronunciation, English fluency, intonation, etc., feel free to leave that in the comments for this video or any of my videos, and I'll get back to you with resources and tips. You can get lots more help in our free practice area on our website, speechmodification.com. Learn about the spelling rules, learn about sounds, learn all of the symbols, and you can also do that in our Sounds of English course on speechmodification.com. So I hope you'll check those out. Looking forward to seeing you in our next class. We'll be live here on Saturday to take your questions, and we'll have, of course, uploads and videos for you to check out. So thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed to the channel and joined as channel members. I truly appreciate your support, and all the liking, commenting, sharing, that helps the channel to grow, and I appreciate your support as well. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.